You are not getting interviews not because you are not qualified, but because you are not selling yourself. And selling sounds awful. It sounds like bragging, or worse, pretending to be someone you are not. But what if I told you you have been selling all your life? You just didn't know it. So every time you asked a professor for help, pitched a great project idea, or tried to convince your parents to let you stay out late, you were selling. I have worked in advertising, retail media, and now I teach and speak for a living. In all those roles, one thing stayed the same. You are always selling something, a product, an idea, or yourself. When I transitioned to teaching and speaking, I realized very quickly that the skills that I learned in sales were not just helpful, those skills were essential. Those skills helped me start conversations, land opportunities, and get paid for what I love doing. And today, in this video, I am going to share those 5 top sales skills that you can leverage to sell yourself as a candidate without feeling fake, pushy, or overwhelmed. So let's jump in. Skill number 1, prospecting. In sales, prospecting means identifying your ideal client. In your job search, it's about getting crystal clear about the roles, the companies, and the key people that you are trying to target. Most of the job seekers just scroll through and apply randomly. But salespeople, they work off a list. And you need a list too. Just make a list of 10 to 20 companies that you want to target for yourself and work off that list. So instead of scrolling endlessly on job boards, you should do this instead. Number 1, create a list of top 10 to 20 companies that are in your target industry that you admire or are looking for people with your skills. Second, find key people in those companies. And those key people could be a recruiter, a person who's actually working in the role that you are targeting for yourself. And third, the hiring manager. You are not reaching out to them and asking for a job. You are trying to reach out and start a warm conversation. Third, before reaching out, do a light audit of the company. Look at the company and see what they are doing. What is happening with the company at this point in time? Are they launching a new product? Are they starting building a new team? Or are they expanding into a new market? You can find all of this information on LinkedIn, on the company's website, or even the information or posts that are being shared by their own employees. So find that information and then start reaching out to the company. And finally, when you reach out, you can personalize your message like this. Instead of saying, "Hi, I'm looking for a job," you can say something like this. "Hi, I have looked at your company and it looks like you are building a team in so and so. I have experience in navigating and solving such challenges in the past, and I was just wondering if you would be open to chat just to understand how are you navigating those challenges." You are not asking for a job here. All you are doing is trying to start a conversation. And that's how you turn a cold lead into a warm conversation. Skill number 2, cold outreach with value. Salespeople do not say, "Hi, please buy from me." Rather, They send out messages that spark curiosity, solve problems, and start a conversation. So your messages shouldn't say, I need a job. Rather, it should say something like, I admire the kind of work you do. Would you be open to a chat? People are more likely to respond to your messages when they can see that you have done your homework and are asking specific questions. So always lead with value. I would also like to burst a myth where job seekers and mostly newcomers, while reaching out to strangers, feel like, oh, I don't want to bother somebody. But in Canada, getting cold messages from newcomers is not strange. It's not something that they do not expect. In fact, hiring managers, recruiters, and professionals in general get those kind of messages and are open to the idea. Now, let's talk about what is it that you shouldn't do. Every other week, I get messages something like this. Hi, here is my resume. Can you help me find a job? And I want to be honest, most of the time, I do not respond. Not because I'm rude or not because I don't want to help, but the thing is, you have not done your due diligence. You have not told me who are you and why you are reaching out to me specifically. When you do not do the work, it would be really hard for me to do anything to help you. So, on top of that, you are reaching out to me with a request without building a relationship or any trust. It looks like a very transactional thing, and people don't like being in a relationship where it's very transactional. So instead, when you reach out, when you do those cold outreach, use those messages to start a conversation, to build a network, to try to learn from other people's experiences, perspectives, advice, etc. Because those are the relationships that will serve you well in the longer run rather than using or doing something which looks very transactional. Skill number 3, positioning. One of the most underrated skill in sales and one of the biggest mistakes that job seekers make. In sales, positioning means presenting your product in a way that makes consumers want to buy it. In your job search, it's all about presenting your skills and story in a way that connects with what an employer might be looking for. So when you say things like, I am open to anything, I just need a job, I'll take whatever comes, you may think that it sounds very flexible and open, but what it actually does is diminish your value. Let me give you an analogy. Have you ever seen a shampoo ad that goes like, Hi, can you please buy me? I'm unable to make any sales. Can you help me sell a couple of bottles? No, because great brands do not beg. They start with value, saying something like, Hi, I help you with your frizzy hair. I can help you control it in 3 washes and I smell great. That's great positioning. It helps you clearly state what do you help with, and you are talking right to the people who might need it. You need to do the same. Please understand that I get what you might be going through, and I have been there where you just need something. And I'm not asking you to hide your struggle or fake confidence, but you cannot diminish your value. You can be human in conversations, but don't confuse vulnerability with diminishing your value, because that's going to hamper your chances in the longer run. Instead, do something like this. When you are in conversations, lead with value, converse with clarity. Hi, I'm looking for social media marketing roles where I can help organizations get more customer engagement. Hi, I am looking for analyst role with companies that deals with data decision making. That's positioning. That's being very clear about who you are and what you are looking for. And when you lead with this, you make it crystal clear for people about where you fit. Skill number 4, handling objections. If you have ever been in sales, you know this. You will hear no, you will get objections. Um, we are already using something else. Um, it's expensive. It's not the right time. Does that sound familiar? In job search, you might get objections like you do not have Canadian experience or you are overqualified. And the key thing here is good salespeople do not get defensive, they get prepared. They anticipate the questions or objections before they come in, and then they frame their answers to work around those objections. Let's take these two examples. What if somebody says, you do not have Canadian experience? So instead of freezing or hiding, you can say something like, yes, I know that most of the employers would be looking for that. But I do have international experience working in fast paced environments. And I've actually taken the time to understand Canadian workplace norms. And I'm confident that I will be able to adapt quickly. See, you did not ignore this objection. You acknowledged it and then you reframed your strengths, reiterated your strengths. Let's take another objection. What if somebody says, oh, you are overqualified? So instead of avoiding, say, yes, I know I have handled more work or responsibilities in the past, but the reason I'm applying for this role is because I want to drive value from the get go. I'm not trying to climb up the ladder quickly. Rather, I want to build trust and support team with my depth of learning that I have built over the years. Again, you have reframed while handling the objection. So, please understand that objections are not personal attacks. They are more like doubts. And like good salespeople, it's your job to help the other person become more certain about you. And when you do that, you turn the maybe into let's chat. Skill number 5, follow up. One of the biggest myths in job search is that follow up is annoying, whereas it's not. Follow up is actually something that makes you memorable. After an interview, after a coffee chat, or even after you got rejected, a gentle, concise follow up focused on gratitude and curiosity will help you in the longer run. So saying something like, thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed our conversation last week about the company, the culture, etc. Uh, thank you so much. I would love to keep in touch for any future opportunities. Simple, clear, concise, no begging, but helps you keep that door open. You don't need to be a salesperson to sell yourself. You only need to think like one. Get clear on who you are talking to. Reach out with intention. Show them why you are the right fit and follow up always. Now, quickly tell me in the comments, which of these 5 skills are you going to try this week? And if this all feels very new and uncomfortable, that's okay. You can learn how to sell yourself one step at a time, and I'm here to help you do that. Now, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.